This is a tutorial on how to add a document module. If you just want to use a document module, we've covered that in a separate tutorial. This tutorial is more advanced. It goes into adding a module and setting it up so that it's ready for documents to be added or edited. This is the agency newsletter page that we used with the previous tutorial. It has one big document module on it. Now, what do we have to do to make a new document module look like this? The first thing is that the title and the paragraph shown up above, they don't come with a new document module, so we have to add that special. Secondly, these columns, right now we have title, description, and size. Those are customizable as well. We can move these around and actually have other columns showing here if we wanted to. And thirdly, we have to set the sort for the documents. Right now, these are sorted by sort index, but we could also sort by title, or we could sort by size. Sorting is completely customizable, so we have to take care of all three of these elements to have a document module look like this. I've navigated to a test page that has no modules on it. The content pane here is blank. Let's add a document module. Show the control panel. Go to Documents. We'll go into the content pane. I don't care where it goes in the content pane, so I'll click the Add link. I'll shrink the control panel. This is a freshly added document module. Notice there is no title or paragraph above the document list. It starts with no document in the list, of course. Also notice there are extra columns showing we don't normally show. Here, the owner, category, and modified date columns. Now let's add a title and paragraph. Every module type has an option to add a text header or footer. We don't do this for most module types, but I've always done it with the document module. I like to have a paragraph telling the users a little about the documents, and I like to put a link to Adobe Reader. You don't absolutely have to have a title and paragraph though. To add a text header, click on the Settings link, scroll down, and click on Advanced Settings and look for the header box. This is where we need to put our text. You could just type out the text here, but you'll need to put in HTML styling tags. I usually find it easier to copy from a different page, so that's what I'll do in this case. Here we are back at the agency newsletter page. I'll just go to the Settings, scroll down, go to Advanced Settings, and here is the text I want to copy. So I'll select it all, Control C to copy, and now I'll go to the test page and paste it. I've found my way back to our test page, so I'll click on Settings, go down to Advanced Settings, find the header block, Control and V to paste in. Got my text in there now, but I'll probably want to go in and update this text to reflect what type of documents I actually am going to be showing. Let's say I'm going to be changing to, or putting a page up with Meals on Wheels newsletters. So I'll change the header to Meals on Wheels newsletters. And then I could change the paragraph text down here, but in this case it says what I want it to say. So I will now update. And here you can see the title and paragraph are back where we're used to seeing them. Now let's take a look at our column settings and how we can reorder those. Let's click on the Settings link, scan all the way down, and expand the Document Module Settings section. And here you can see under Display Columns all the different column headers that we can choose from and whether they're visible or not. Now we typically put title, description, and size for our document modules. You don't have to have the size on there. I do just because I like to see how big a document is before I download it to see how long it's going to take. But you could actually have any of these columns visible if you'd like. The first thing you have to do actually is to sort them as you want them to show on the screen. So title is the top one. We want to keep that one there. But I also want the description to be right next to title. So I'm going to hit these up arrows and move the description all the way up to the top. You'll note that the description is not actually set up as a default to show. You have to check that, but you have to move these things into their proper location first before you can actually put a check mark in them. So I'm going to put size and move that all the way to the top. You don't actually have to move these all bunched up at the top, but I just do that to make it clearer. And so once they're there, I'm going to make description visible, and then I'm going to take the other check marks off. This download link option is for if you want the word download to appear on the line. Up here you can see we have show title link checked. As long as that is checked, the title itself will be the link to the document. So we don't need to have the word download written on that line as well. So with those selected, let's hit update and take a look. There you can see we have the title, description, and size showing. Now let's talk about setting up the default sort. That is also done with the settings link. Go all the way to the bottom, expand document module settings, and this sorting section down here is where that is done. Now this starts without a sort actually. The default sort I think is in the order the documents were added, but we typically like to sort in one of two ways. Either by title, and that can be done by selecting the down arrow. You can see all the different types of things you can sort by, but if we wanted to do an alphabetical sort by title of document, we would just click on this and then hit add sort order. If you have a bunch of documents that aren't really sorted by title but have some other way you want to display them, typically a lot of our stuff has date associated type title names. In that case, you'd have to use the sort index, and then for each document you'd have to give it a sort index number to put them in the sort that the way you want it to be sorted. In this particular sample case though, I'm just going to sort by title and then hit add sort order, and here that says we have now a ascending title sort order. This option down here to allow users to sort, typically we display so few columns that it doesn't really make much sense to allow them to sort. And so if we were to click this box, that would put additional code in there that would just slow the page down, so we don't worry about it. And so to save this sorting option, I would just hit the update button. While I happen to be on this page, there's also this default folders option that you might want to play with. If you were to select a default folder, let's just say I'm wanting to select the documents for Meals on Wheels. And now whenever I go into make an edit to a document or add a new document, this default folder will show for it, and I'll just make it easier in the future for when I'm actually playing with these documents. So I like to set this to where the default's going to be. Now of course if your documents are scattered all over the place, it doesn't make any sense to put a default, so you don't absolutely have to do this. And this category section up top, it is possible to use to break these documents down into different sections by giving it a category name, but we don't really use that, so I would suggest you leave those blank. Now if I hit update, we have a document module that is properly configured and is ready to have documents added to it.